Hey, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, guys. First of all, I thank Allah Subhanahu wa Taala because Allah always gives us His mercies and also His blessings until we can get together, even through the virtual and peace and exaltation be upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because he has brought us from the Jahiliyyah era to the modern era right now. And as you know, this video is presented to you uh, to be the presenter, to be the presenter of the quantitative research method assignment. And this is and today the topic will be about the survey design and experiment design. So it consists two people, me, Muhammad Sandi Alfat, and my friends Muhammad Abdul Aziz. And let's get started. First of all, we have to know about the defining survey and the experiment. Survey design provide a quantitative or numeric description of trend, attitude, or opinion of a population by studying a sample of that population. From the result, the researcher can make a conclusion in the population. For example, the research want to know the ability, the writing skill in the class 7 of junior high school. Then the researcher looking for the numeric data, description of the writing skill of junior high school in their teacher or schools. And next, experiment. It's the second topic is about the experiment design. It is a design to test the impact of the treatment in individual or group of people with control all the factors that will be influenced in the individual or group on an outcome. For example, the researcher wants to know about the activity of using sequence picture to improve the ability of the student writing in a junior high school. The first section, the research gives the treatment, and the second section, the researcher not give the treatment. Then the researcher find the outcome. So, but this topic will be delivered by my friend later after me. And next, a component of the survey method plan. So the survey design, in preparing to design this component to a proposal, there are some things that should be considered. Next. First, there is the population and the sample. This is maybe the part that some people will got some trouble because of any trouble that maybe cannot be what is that imagined before. This is kind of like here an essential aspect, but this is essential. So this is we have to. If we don't have this, we can't get any data anymore. And then here the essential aspect of the population and the sample to describe in this research plan. Identify the population in the study. Identify whether the sampling design for this population is single stage or multi-stage. Identify the selection process for individuals. Identify whether the study will involve stratification or the population before selecting the sample. Maybe the stratification here means a requirement, kind of like maybe you have some requirement to your population to be your sample, and then discuss the procedure for the selecting sample from the available list, and indicate the number of people in the sample and the procedure used to compute this number. So this is the where is that the analogy maybe can be said. Yeah, this is the big one. The big circle is the population. So you can give kind of like maybe the requirement they recommend the people must be like this, people must be like this, and others must be like this. So the people in the small circle, they are the required sample, they are the required people, so they are to be the sample. And next instrument, that this is in a great proposal research, the research must consider the following aspect in the instrument. Name the survey instrument means maybe what do you use to be your instrument, kind of like maybe to select all the population to be the sample, you need kind of like maybe what's that, the list
Question?
of, questionnaire, I mean, questionnaire, something kind of like a questionnaire, so and etc. So you have to mention your instrument names is to, and the second, to use the existing instrument. The researcher must describe the validity of the past instrument. The three forms of the validity: content validity, predictive or concurrent validity, and the construct the validity. And the third, mention the result of the score from the past use of the demonstrate reliability. And for the original and the reliability, instrument cannot be modified. The researcher should create the new instrument. Include the sample item in the instrument and attract the sample item. Include the major content and type scales in the instrument, such as the cover letter, continuous scale, and categorical scales. Discuss field testing plans for the survey and provide a rationale of this plan. Identify the step of the administering the survey in the mailed survey. The variable in the study, is the technique. So the technique that the researcher relates to the instrument, then it makes the researcher easy to looking for the connection to the variable and the hypothesis. The researcher can design the table to discuss the connection among variable, hypothesis, or research question and specific survey item. It can help the researcher to make the instrument in the large-scale model. So the data analysis and the interpretation. Creswell said it gives some tips in the reader to discuss the series of the steps in the data analysis procedure. First, tell the information about the number of the example who did and did not involved in the survey. And the second, discuss the method by which response bias will be determined. And third, make the plan that provide a descriptive analysis for all data and a variable. The fourth, assuming that you proceed beyond descriptive approach. Fifth, use the statistic or program statistic computer to test the hypothesis. And sixth, present the result in the table or figure, then interpret it. The component of the experimental method, this will be actually what is that, delivered by my friends, and your turns.
Okay. I will explain about the component of an experimental method. So the first of all is participants. Of course, in the research we have to have the participant in experiment because this is humans research. So for the second is variables. All the research must have the variables and the instrumentation and materials, and the last one is experimental procedures. So for the first all, we have to know what types of experimental designs. There are four types of experimental designs. First of all, pre-experimental design. Second one is quasi-experiments. third one, true experiments, and the fourth one, single subject designs. For the first types of the experimental design, is pre-experimental design is one-shot case study. So it's just one case study that will be researched. So for the second one is one group pre-test post-test design, and the third one statistic group comparison, and the last one alternative treatment post-test. And for the quasi-experimental design, there is no equivalent control group designs, single group interrupted time series designs, and control group interrupted time series designs. So in the quasi-experimental designs, we we separate with the single group and control group. So we get the time series design in the quasi. And for the third one is true experimental design. There are pre-test and post-test control group design. So in the control group, we give the pre-test, post-test uh, control pre-test, post-test, and control group design. And this is, I'm sorry, it's not control group, post-test only for the experiment group designs. So in the experiment group design, we just give the post-test, not the pre-test. And for the third one is Solomon for group design. And when we do the validity, there are traits in validity. So for the first one is the internal validity traits, experimental procedure, treatments, or experiences of the participant that threaten the researcher's ability to draw correct inferences from the data about the population in experiment. We can see in the Creswell books about the internal validity traits. And the external validity traits arise when the experiment draw incorrect inferences from the sample data to other persons, other settings, and past or future situation. And the last one, there are statistical conclusion validity arise when experiments draw inaccurate inferences from the data because the inadequate statistical power or the violation of statistical assumption. So for this last one, when you have when you got the data and you put the data in the statistic, and the statistic shows that there is no something about the numbers, so it means you have an adequate statistical power, so you have to back again and start again with the statistical validity. And for the data analysis, there are types of statistical analysis that will be used in experiment. First one, report the descriptive statistic calculated for observation and measure at the pre-test or post-test stage of experiment design. So when you do the pre-test, you have to do the statistic. When you do the post-test, you have to do the descriptive statistic. So from this each test, you have to do descriptive statistics for each test. So the second one, indicate the inferential statistical test used to examine the hypothesis in the study. So uh, despite descriptive statistic, you have to do the inferential statistic to test your hypothesis. So despite you test the pre-test and post-test, you test your hypothesis. And for the third one, for single subject research design, use line graph for baseline and treatment observation for abscisca, horizontal axis units of time, and the ordinate or vertical axis target behavior. So if you know the diagram that like x and y, you can see that's the horizontal axis and vertical axis. So you will use the x and y diagram. There's a top and bottom. You can draw the calculation in there. So you have to make the x y the diagram. So I think that's all for our presentation. That's all for our presentation about the survey design and experiment design. So it is the end of our presentation from the group 6, and thank you very much. And
Very
maybe
much.
Mr. Sandy will closing this presentation for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your attention. Hopefully, this will be something grateful for us. And stay safe, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.